Baby, let's talk about how men's refusal to do the bare minimum destroys the family and the family dynamic. So, in my last post, I showed two examples of women just getting out of the home, basically running away because their husbands or partners were doing fuck all for the family. And this person commented, "Mom had me doing laundry and cleaning at age 5." This is a woman, by the way. I assume her name's Indigenous Barbie. So, this is why so many girls' oldest daughters get parentified because the mother is pressing somebody into service to take the place of a worthless husband who doesn't do a goddamn thing. It's crazy how everything bad in this world is about serving men, you know? And it's funny because when women get a divorce, people say, oh, you're destroying the family. No, the men are destroying the family because whether you leave or whether you stay, if the husband's not doing his part, the family's already destroyed. The mother is physically not going to be capable of doing it all. So somebody's going to get pressed into service, typically an oldest daughter. But even if all the kids share the responsibility that's not theirs, equally, that's time away from them being kids. That's time away from their studies. That's time that should be spent doing the things that they're supposed to be doing that has now gone into doing the work of a grown individual. Whether it's taking care of the other kids, helping to cook dinner, doing the chores, doing the laundry, picking up the house, it is something that basically an adult should have been responsible for, with the exception of kids doing things to clean up their own mess. I believe in kids picking up behind themselves, making their own beds, even when they get to a certain age, doing their laundry. But that age is not 5. And I definitely want to hold the mothers responsible for the parentification. But at the same time, I know there's a lot less pushback from society. And there's even encouragement from society to push your children into doing chores rather than making your husband do what he's supposed to do. I mean, people are going to rise up in the millions to defend you if you say, hey, yeah, I made my child do X, Y, and Z around the house because, hey, I shouldn't be doing all by myself. Yeah, mom, you need a break. Let those kids pick up. Yeah, I believe kids should be picking up after themselves. But if you say, I made my husband pick up after himself, oh my God, you are the worst thing ever. You are a harpy. You are the reason he's going to leave. Men need to rest. Oh, they work so hard. Like, women aren't working hard. We are not living in some kind of 1950s TV commercial where women just stay home. Women are working. The vast majority of women in the West work. They work outside the home. So if the logic is people who work don't have to do chores, women should be doing nothing, right? But apparently only men need these gobs and gobs of rest. And we know that the parentification is not equal. Yes, I have heard of guys being parentified, but 9 times out of 10, it is a girl, most likely the oldest daughter. So you're just ruining your children's dynamic. Obviously, the child who's been parentified grows resentful of the other children because girls see their brothers who are either older or younger than them who are running around free, just like their lazy ass fathers who don't have to do a motherfucking thing. And they're angry because obviously they did not choose this dynamic. If the mother wants to enable patriarchy in her own life by taking on more than her fair share of work, well, that's her problem. But it is unfair of you to dump that labor on your daughter. So they see the different ways they're being treated. And the funny thing is, not funny ha ha, but funny up, is that girls are told, oh, you're much more responsible, you're much more mature, and that's why you have to do all this work. But then they don't get the same rights and privileges when it comes to going out and dating and having fun. You're supposed to be so responsible and mature when it's time for you to take on the role of a grown adult in your household and nurse babies and, change diapers. But all of a sudden, you're not allowed to date until you're grown. You can't wear makeup. You can't do any of the things that would indicate female maturity. But your brother is allowed to drop it like it's hot, go around with all the little girls in the neighborhood, and you're not allowed to do any of that. And some of it is a function of keeping you in the house so that the mother doesn't lose her labor supply. That's why she tells you can't do that stuff. But a lot of it is just plain old sexism. You're so mature, you can do her work, but you're, not allowed to do anything that you want to do. And it's BS. I hate those kinds of ever-shifting double standards. That's like one of my big pet peeves because when I was teaching 5th grade, I saw so many girls who didn't have a moment to breathe to themselves. You want them to do their little sister's hair and watch their baby sister and do this and do that for the family, but, you don't give them anything. Meanwhile, their brothers are running around like wild animals. They don't have to watch children who aren't theirs, and when they're grown and they're having a bunch of random babies, they're not going to have to watch the children that are theirs, and it's BS. And how can you stop this cycle? By holding men accountable today. Maybe your mother or the women in your family did not hold men accountable, but that doesn't have a damn thing to do with you. It starts right now. My parents were actually pretty good about this. Shout out to them because I have a male fraternal twin and there was not any disparity in the amount of chores and stuff that we were given. And I always saw my father doing his fair share around the house. He cooked dinner, he made our lunches, he cleaned, and that was in addition to hiring household help. So I was definitely raised to, view men as a responsible part of the household. But I noticed that there was a lot of reversion when it came to times we would have other family members in the house. When I was growing up, Thanksgiving was this huge big deal. And after dinner, a lot of times the women would be left doing all the cleaning up and men would be watching football. And I remember one time my mom complained that one of her sisters in law didn't get up and help clean. Instead, she was watching football with the women. My mom was just outraged. Oh, and how come so and so was watching football with the men? And I let her get all of her energy out there. I was like 10. And I was like, well, what's the problem? Because the men are watching football, so why shouldn't she watch the football? My mom was like, well, the women were in there cleaning. I was like, okay, so the problem was not like you're trying to make it gender, but the issue is that some people were in the living room watching football and not cleaning up, not helping. Don't try to make it gender. Don't put it on one party. So I think ever since then, it's just been a practice that everybody helps to clean up. But I think that is illustrative of the fact that while you may be doing well, a lot of times huge family dynamics will put pressure on you to try to make you revert to that old way of thinking. And in all fairness, my mother was born in the 60s, so she's doing the best she can. But yeah, whenever you see that old fashioned kind of rhetoric seeping in, let people know you're not going to stand for that. If anything, you need to be mad at people who actually live in the home who are not helping. When your brother brings a lady over and your mother's complaining about her not making his plate or whatever, like he's got legs. Oh, why does she need to make his plate? She's a guest here. Wouldn't it be more appropriate for him to be offering her food? For him to be helping out? This is his home, whether he lives here now or used to live here. He knows where everything goes, Why does she need to be jumping up to serve him? Your in-laws bring some kids over, and they're letting them roam free, and somebody's like, oh, so-and-so, the mother needs to come get these kids. No, their father's right there. Their father is the one who's part of our family, and he is the one who needs to wrangle his kids. So you can't change everything overnight, but you can definitely make sure that dynamic doesn't happen in your home. That's it. Like and follow for more.
Wow, you know what?
Baby,
All
let's
I
talk.
can say on that, because I mean, she's giving her take and her opinion on it. Me personally, I'm tired of the automatic, how servitude is automatically assigned and reverted to women. I'm tired of that. And I think a lot of women are tired of it too. That's why they're opting out. And men are losing their free labor force and they don't know how to deal with it. Well, some men are losing their free labor force in droves and they don't know how to deal with it. So I approve this message. Listen, the most households nowadays, the mother is also working, the father is working. Everybody needs to be rolling up their sleeves and pitching in the household, especially when the children are young. Like, ugh. Be a part of the live show with thousands of other viewers. Go to TonyaTko.com/text and join the text notification squad and get a text whenever I go live. Support the show and yourself, and I'll see you on the next live broadcast.